Hey guys, so ignore my very, very messy hair. I'm going to try to fix it really quickly. Yes, this hair tie used to be pink. I'll explain in a second why this hair tie is no longer pink. Okay, so the reason the hair tie is no longer pink is because of the fact that when I dyed my hair, when I did this, is we basically started with it the first thing it said to do was to kind of wet my hair a little bit and bleach it. So we did that, and that kind of burned a little bit. Like, it wasn't too bad, and the 10 minutes felt really long, though, partly because I kind of wasn't doing anything. I was sitting there, and it was kind of burning a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. And so that was a thing, and then the 10 minutes were up, so we rinsed it out of my hair, which felt amazing at that point because the water was kind of warm, but kind of on the colder side, but it felt amazing on my head, and then the only part that ended up bleaching was the top part. I kind of felt like that was gonna happen because of two reasons. First off, I didn't shake the bleach all the way. And so, some of it, cause you had to, put the powder into this, bottle thing, and then you had to fill it up with water. So yeah, and then you had to shake it, or if you had something that could fit inside, you could mix it. But I shook it, and apparently I didn't shake it enough. So yeah. Then, and also my dad put way more up here, I could tell. Because up here was burning in a little bit, and I could feel it obviously, but it wasn't too bad. But then the bottom of my hair, I bleached the tips of my hair before, and it got a little bit warm when I did it the first time, and I was making my hair have pink tips. So it got a little bit warm feeling, but I couldn't fully feel it because we had a bag, so it won't burn my skin or anything. But I could feel it get a little bit warm, but it didn't burn or anything. And this time we had the same thing, and it didn't even feel warm. It felt like nothing. Also, I could kind of do this and kind of see a little bit of my hair. My hair wasn't in a ponytail, but I could kind of see the tips of my hair, and nothing changed. So then we put the pink dye at the top, and then the bottom we did the purple. The purple ended up not showing up because, again, the bottom of my hair didn't bleach. So we kind of expected that. And then we finished, and basically it was finally time to rinse it out and then blow dry it and see the end product. So we did that, and then what we think happened was because it was getting really uncomfortable, not having it in my hair, but what happened when rinsing it out, because I had to lean back, I'm in a chair that wasn't the most comfortable chair ever, because it was a normal kitchen table chair, but yeah. And so, it was getting hard to, lean back for so long, and even though it really wasn't that long, but, yeah, it was maybe a minute or two. So, yeah, basically what we think happened was we don't think my dad got all the dye out because he could tell I was starting to get really uncomfortable. But for today's video, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. I am going to be doing a Q&A. I posted a poll, or like a thing on my Instagram, so you could have questions. I don't think anyone asked any, though, but I did comment last night on it. Yeah, nobody asked anything, but I did comment it to thing on it. And so I came up with a bunch of questions. 2 of them I came up with last night, and I didn't want to forget them, so I commented on it. Also, I will make a part 2 if people do post questions. So I'm going to read the first 2 that I came up with last night and just answer them. And this is primarily going to be about dance. So, is dance a sport? Now, this is the thing that I feel like is opinion-based, because some people, like, here's the thing. I kind of grew up, and even till very recently, thinking dance was not a sport. But then the other day, I was, like, well, actually last night, like, this is how I got the idea for the question, when I was scrolling on Instagram, and someone, I think it was some dancer. I forget what account it was, because I follow a lot of accounts or something. And I was answering the question, and they said dance is a sport. So now I'm like, I think it's opinion based, but to be honest, I don't think dance is a sport. Like, I know gymnastics is a sport, or which dance and gymnastics are 2 totally different things. The other question is, what is the hardest style of dance besides acro or flexibility for me? I would say this one is, one second, I had to like Jenna and David just posted. And for me, this one's hard. This one's like a really hard question for me, and it's hard because for the most part, I don't struggle with anything in dance other than flexibility and acro, but like, it's not that I don't struggle with anything, but never like a style of dance. And I would say flexibility, but since that's not like a style of dance, that's something that goes into a lot of things. No, I would say balance. That's what I mean. Because flexibility is kind of one of those things that goes into a lot of things. But balance is also a thing that goes into a lot in dance. So if I had to absolutely pick, I would generally say a ballet, just because I'm really good at ballet. Like, I'm overall really good at ballet in class. I'm not the greatest, but that's because I'm new to working on point, and it's like I'm challenging myself with working on point, which I'm very sad because yesterday, if you get grossed out by feet easily, do not look. This happened. Okay, you can look. Anyway, like, my baby toe, like, I think it got a bubble on it, and the annoying thing about it, though, is that the last time this happened, and I went on point, like, a week later, and my feet ended up coming out. Like, literally, what happened was after I was done, my feet were so sore. And I took the point shoes off, and my feet were peeled skin. blood on my big toe. My feet were like really badly off, and then I like had to like put band-aids all over my feet, and like I had band-aids on my feet like the entire next day. It was not fun, and now I'm like prepared that that's gonna happen, and because this is a pretty good bubble, and it's probably even more bubble-like than the last time this happened, which is not a good sign for my feet. My other foot, don't worry, I'm not going to show it. It's starting, like there's one spot on my baby toe that like is a little bit pink, but it's not bad. So yeah, we'll see. The next question, this one is, what is the difference between gymnastics and dance? Honestly, gymnastics is a sport, and in ways, acro dancing, like acro is a style of dance, and I feel like some of the stuff like acro and tumbling is used in dance sometimes. It's kind of similar, but gymnastics is a sport, and with gymnastics, there's like the beam, the bar, the floor routine, vault. I don't know if there, I think there's something with trampolines, I don't know. Which is weird because I usually, which is, my brain is filled with like gymnastic knowledge of like basic gymnastic things because I grew up watching the Bratayley channel a lot, and at one point I watched another channel that was gymnastics related. But, so, it's like the thing that like I should know, and I don't. I still watch the Bratayley channel, but I haven't watched him forever because they kind of are like taking a break, and like they might come back and stuff. Hopefully they do, and hopefully it's soon, because I miss the Bratayley channel so much. Yeah, but it was but with gymnastics, it's very much different. Like the feet are different, the hands are different. I don't know, but very different from dance. And gymnastics is a qualified sport, or dance is not actually a sport. I don't. Wait, actually, let me look that up to see. According to Google. Hey Google. Wait, I'm gonna have. Is dance a sport? You will see. Is dance a sport? There, because it was popping up something. Oh. So technically dance is a sport, I guess. As it's a form of art / it's also a sport apparently. But I feel like that's wrong. Because I just feel like that's wrong. Because not everything on the internet is true. 1 second, I was looking at something. But that's like the thing that I'm mixed on. Because according to Google, dance is a form of art / sport. But I always was told dance is not a sport. Dance is a form of art, and it's completely different from gymnastics. So I have no clue. And it's not like my parents told me. This is just stuff that like I do a lot in the dance world, and like I like far enough like I do like these Zoom classes, and just from what I learned, dance is not a sport. But now, I think it's an opinion based thing though. I feel like for some people, even if you ask some people, they say it's a sport, and if you ask others, they're like, no, it's not a sport. So I don't know. Feel free to go on my Instagram and tell me your opinion, but please make it nice, okay? Like, I'd be like, oh, I think dance is a sport. Oh, I don't think dance is a sport. Like, to be nice about it. But if I had to absolutely pick, like, my worst style of dance, it would be ballet. Just because I don't really like ballet as much, and I struggle with the stuff on point. I gotten better. And because in ballet, I feel like everything has to be so precise and stuff, and it's not performing too much like with ballet. Like, here's the thing, is that like I feel like it's not like hip hop. Hip hop is like performing, and ballet is like technique. And that's okay. It's just not really my thing. Also, some of the like outfits that they wear in ballet is not really my style of what I choose to wear. So, the next question that I came up with is, what is your favorite dance move? For me, this one's a hard one. I have a lot of favorite dance moves. This one's generally hard. If I absolutely had to pick, I feel like it would be an arabesque jump. And that's not the technical term for it or something, but I forget what the actual technical term is. But I love doing an arabesque jump. I love doing them. Like, I do them all the time. I'm that, but I also feel like I really like doing my tilt. Because it's just fun, and it's like my first, like, real flexibility thing. The next question that I came up with is, what is your plan on teaching this little girl dance? Oh, I talked about it on my channel before. I made a video, like, putting together, like, a bag of, like, stuff for this little girl in our family that I do teach dance. I do it for free just because no one, like, because the reasoning is because she's the first person that I, like, in our family that I know of that has really wanted to dance besides me. Like, wants to do it, like, professionally one day, maybe. She's, like, the first person to do that. Like, with Bella, Bella, like, was down to try it. She took a ballet class with me and then was, like, over and didn't want anything to do with it. Like, she was like, and the thing was that she was over. Like, she wasn't big into the ballet class. I don't blame her. Because ballet can be boring. And, like, even Abby has said, and, like, Abby's teacher, ballet teacher, or, like, Danny, even she tried to, like, not make it boring, but even then there's sometimes when I'm like, I would rather be doing a different style of dance or something. But no offense to Danny. Danny is a great teacher. No, up against her, it's just in my mindset, no, that I kind of went into her ballet class from the first time I took it, knowing that I'm not big into ballet, knowing that maybe I was gonna really like it, and maybe I wasn't, and maybe I was gonna be in between, and I'm on the in between, meaning I try to like it, and I don't absolutely hate it, and I love it because it is a form of dance, and I like dance, but I definitely love hip hop and other styles a lot more, and it had nothing to do with the teacher. And ballet, not something that I'm big into, and that's okay. Because I go more towards the performing thing anyway. But I still force myself to do it. I still try to enjoy it and stuff because technique is an important part of dance, and there's no harm in making sure I have good technique at all times. So, but I'm really excited because I had talked about how she's the first person that I taught her a few here and there things, 3. To be honest, I don't think the first 2 she was paying attention to, which is fine. Actually, I taught her 4 things, and one of them she really liked, because it involved the dance hammock. Now, I did not let her do it, don't worry, because it is something, kind of dangerous, because it's on the dance hammock, which means that, it's aerialist work, meaning it's stuff in the air, meaning she's not on the ground doing this stuff, and also, because it is something that is way above her level, considering I just barely got close to doing it and stuff, but I did demonstrate it as something more, not to be mean to her, but more as something for her to see and be impressed by and be oh, wow, I really want to do that one day. To kind of give her a goal because having a goal like that can really be helpful in dance sometimes, and you put all this work into it and to get to that goal, and when it finally happens, it makes you so happy and stuff. So it's something fun to look forward to, and just to impress her. And the other thing she really liked that was I did my form of a split, which is almost a side split, and locked hand is a locked handed is side split, or locked handed center split, something rather. It's where you basically get on the dance hammock and you lean all the way back, and then you open your legs outward to do this sort of split. Side split, I think is what it's called. And then you slowly take your hand and you put them on your legs, and you just hang there for a second. But then, and one thing that I did try to teach her, and this is the reason I tried to teach it to her, even though I know it's way above her level, but it's kind of hard to explain to her because she's younger, which is great, and that it's above her level, and so she saw me doing the certain jump, an arabesque jump, I forget what the actual technical term is, and she saw me doing it, and she asked if I could teach her, so I attempted to teach her. We actually made good progress, and I was mind blown and slightly jealous, to be honest, because it took me 5 years to get to that point, and here she is, day 1. I almost has it in day 1 in less than 10 minutes. So, like, to be honest, part of me was, like, slightly jealous. But in fairness, it wasn't fully my fault that it took 5 years, considering I wasn't full-blown dancing on a dance schedule for 5 years. I was just working on flexibility and just fun things here and there for most of it, and very recently started up again with the dance schedule. Well, because at one point I had one, and once a week I took a ballet class, a tap class, and then a jazz class, and then a jumps and turns class at the Civic Center, so not much. But yeah, the other things were like things that like are ballet and like very important for her to know, and yet she didn't pay attention to them, but that's fine. Because it's plique and releve. I don't think I got into a grand. There's two different types of plique. There's a grand plique where you go all the way down, and then a demi plique where you just go slightly down. So yeah. So yeah. But I do plan this time, if I can get her to focus and have an attention span, because she is little, like pretty little. And still, I'm gonna try to undo part of a routine. I'm not going to do a full dance routine with her because I do know she is very beginner in dance. Also, I don't think she has that attention span and stuff, but like a little bit of a routine. But the thing that's gonna be fun is that I'm gonna use music. You guys won't see it, unfortunately, because that part of my family is not social media like family. And like their accounts and stuff are private. Plus, that's like one of those things. But really, to be honest, Bella's the only one that in our family decides me that like full blown social media like. Which is, but the exciting part is I'm using the song Unstoppable. And the reason that's exciting, I'm not using the actual music video to it, I'm using, and someone made an edit, like, Jules from the Brett Haley channel, her name, like, Jules LeBlanc, um, I was gonna say something else. I was gonna say, like, what her name used, or, like, what everyone called her at one point, but anyway, but because I watched the video at one point and they said that they don't want that to be like a thing anymore, they just want like Jules. So I'm just doing Jules LeBlanc. Anyway, someone made an edit of them to the song, and I watched the music video once, but I'm using this one because it's saved on my playlist, because it's a good edit. But the exciting thing is, my first dance routine that I ever learned was to the song Unstoppable. And now I'm carrying that on to someone, and that means a lot to me. And I'm doing like a really easy routine that she can do and something fun, and then at the end I'm gonna have her showcase it, kind of, just to like my parents and like probably her dad, and like my niece, just some family, and that way they can see her do it. Peace out.